Hello YouTube, it's Samantha again here for week 2 of our body restoration cleanse. This is an update. Today is Thursday, April the 14th. And I just have my hair pulled back in a little bit of a bun today, a little bit of a lazy day. Because I have been a little bit tired more than usual. I will tell you that straight out. Everything is on the table here. So having not had that sort of extra boost of sugar and caffeine that I usually get, just trying to like sort of moderate my energy and keep myself in a good place this week. I am feeling a little bit of the effects of that, but I expect that will pick up after this weekend and into the third week once my body is a little bit more used to it. And the other thing that I have here, as I mentioned in the last video, I've been taking the Cephology Detox Tea. I've been having 2 bags, once in the morning and once before I go to bed. And I just want to show you what that looks like. I ordered these on Friday, and so they came on Monday. Very good shipping here in Canada. And again, it's just one little tea bag triangle there. And it has the burdock root and the licorice in there that are gonna help with the detoxing out of your mucous membranes, out of your skin, and all those kind of things. You can see my skin is, I haven't been having as many breakouts as before. My skin actually feels a little bit better just to touch it, so I'm happy about that. Another thing that I wanted to share, you'll see a bit later in the video, it's still kind of early today for me. It's around 11 a.m. And so I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to be making some homemade chicken burgers, and that's going to be my lunch today. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit what that looks like in the kitchen. I also made some spring rolls this week, some fresh veggie spring rolls. So if that's something you ever wanted to try, I'll show you just a little quick demonstration of how to roll those up. It's really pretty simple. I mean, all you have to do is make sure you have the ingredients, and if you have any basic knife skills at all, just chopping up those vegetables is no big deal. So another thing I mentioned about the cleanse was if you wanted to do some enhancing activities, such as dry brushing or doing some meditation to help with the mental clarity, getting your mind focused again when you're so used to everything sort of right in your face. We live in a very fast-paced society, and allowing our bodies and our minds to slow down, meditation can help with that. I've been keeping up with my yoga. I've been doing meditation and pranayama in the morning when I wake up, about 5-10 minutes. And then in the evenings, I come home and I do a little half-hour stretch and just sort of work out the kinks in my body after a long day. So those are things that, again, if you're going through this either later or if you're just going to try your own version at home, just keeping those kinds of things in mind. A little self-care is always good. If you have a bathtub, just be able to soak and relax. Again, I mentioned feeling a little bit more fatigued, so maybe that's something that'll lift your spirits a little bit. But also do some positive, uplifting activities. I mean, get out and go for a walk, get some fresh air, get the sun on your face. Also maybe put on some music, do some dancing, do whatever feels good, helps you to feel more like yourself and bring a little life back to your body, because there's no shame in that, obviously. We're here to make ourselves feel good. We're here to get back on track with our health and establish a healthy routine that's going to fit into our lifestyle. And part of that is making sure that you feel happy doing it. And so finding activities that are going to support you in that is very important. And so coming up for us at the end of this week on Saturday evening, we are going to have our full moon flow inside of the Better Balance and Flow community on Facebook. I will link that below for you. So if you wanted to join us, we do a free full moon session every month. We do a group guided meditation that I provide. And also I do a group distance Reiki session where you can join me one-to-one, not one-to-one, but in a small private setting on Zoom. So you don't have to worry about showing your face or anything like that, and it will be exclusive for you. And those are things I like to provide for my members to help you guys along the way, to support you mentally and a little bit physically as you move through your day and figure out what feels best for you. And so we have 2 options going into phase 3, which is happening on Monday or Sunday, whichever day is the beginning of your week. For us here in Canada, that's going to be Easter weekend, so after Easter, if that works for you. We're going to be heading into phase 3. Did I put up 3 fingers last time? But so what that can look like is either you can continue with the route that you're going, which is to have everything continue to keep everything eliminated from your diet, all those allergens, the dairy, the soy, the nuts, the wheats, all those kind of things. or we can experiment with bringing those things back in and seeing how they affect our bodies. So if dairy was something you eliminated, no milk, no cheese, and you decide that, hey, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Gouda on top of my omelet today, and maybe you notice that it makes you feel a little bit more bloated and gassy. Those are things that you can take note of. Also, again, if you're gonna add in back some wheat, if you decide that's something you want to do, maybe I don't like not drinking coffee. I need my morning coffee, and you decide you're gonna add that 1 or 2 cups back into your diet and see. Now you'll have a better baseline, a better place of starting to see how that energy is really affected throughout the day and throughout the week. And so those are the 2 options that you can take going into this phase. For me, I most likely will continue with the elimination diet, at least for the first half of the week, and then sort of slowly integrate some of those more regular things that I've been eating back towards the end of the week. And by regular, I just mean like eating bread again. So stay tuned for that in the next video. But for now, let's head over to the kitchen, and I'm gonna show you guys how to make some homemade chicken burgers. Okay, so today is Tuesday of week 2 of our cleanse as we head into a full week of basic whole foods eating. And I am making some fresh vegetable spring rolls for lunch today. So I have my rice paper here. This is just going to be soaked for a few seconds in some cold water. And I'm going to include some nice freshly cut vegetables. Stumbling a lot today, my words. Some freshly cut. We have peppers, red and yellow. We have some carrots. I'm going to be doing some zucchini as well. And I have my rice noodles on the pot just next to me here, absorbing the water and getting all ready. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what that looks like, just rolling them up. And then maybe later in this video, I'll show you what I'm doing with some chicken burgers I'm going to make from scratch. And that's going to be for lunch tomorrow and the next day. Okay, and so now I'm just going to show you how to roll a fresh spring roll using rice paper. And so I've soaked it in some warm water for a few seconds, and now you can see it's nice and soft and pliable. And I've laid it out here as round as possible on our cutting board. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just take a little pinch of our rice noodles. Like I said, I brought the water to a boil, and then I just let the noodles sort of absorb the water for about 5 minutes and drained it off. So I'm going to make a little bit of a line there with our rice noodles, and we're going to add in some peppers. We have our red, some yellow, our carrots there, and our zucchini. And so if you'd like to, you could also add some mango, maybe some fresh herbs, like cilantro or mint might be a nice little fresh burst there in your spring roll. And I'm just gonna cover the top and bottom edges here before I take one side and just fold it over. And you can sort of gently guide everything into the corner as you're rolling it. Oh, my little top there. And then just slowly moving from one edge to the other, making sure everything stays nice and tucked in. Right? Very easy. And so I'm gonna make a few more of these. You can barely see the green in there from the zucchini. I'm gonna make a few more of these, and that's gonna be my lunch for today. And I'm gonna dip it in just some fresh homemade ginger sauce. And if you wanted to add a protein in there, I think I mentioned you can add in some shrimp as well, or if you have a different like tofu maybe after it's been marinated. Alright guys, so I'm just going to be showing you how to make these homemade ground chicken burgers. It's going to be really quick and easy and accessible. I do have training as a professional chef, but I know that a lot of you, maybe you're not so savvy in the kitchen, and so we're just going to try and keep this as simple as possible. And so basically all I've done so far is just I've defrosted the chicken. It was in the freezer for a couple of days, and I have it here in the bowl. I'm going to add some regular table salt and some ground black pepper. Another thing I'm going to be adding in is just some ground garlic and ground onion powder. If you wanted to do a little bit of a more jazzed up version of this, you could also chop them up by hand and throw them in there. Maybe about half a small onion and maybe 2 cloves of garlic would be enough to do it. I just put a little pinch of salt and pepper. You can see it's not a crazy amount in there. And so we're just going to sprinkle this on top. You can see how much I'm putting in there. This is actually pretty hard. Okay, so try again. That's a good amount. And we're going to do our garlic powder. This one flows a little bit easier. And I honestly just got these at the dollar store. Nothing crazy. You can see it's not too much. It's about a teaspoon of each. I also love Italian seasoning. I love that blend of spices. It has, what do we have here? Marjoram, thyme, rosemary, savory, sage, oregano, and basil. And so rather than buying all of these things separately, sometimes I like to just get it in our no-name style. If not, again, dollar store or your local grocery store. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. And we're going to take just a little pinch and put that in there too. And so again, I am a trained cook, and I don't mind using my hands and getting a little messy. So that's what I'm going to do to mix these up. This is just some parsley flakes. I like it to add a little bit of freshness. As you can see, one last time, everything all there in the bowl. We have a couple clumps there of the onion. But everything's going to get mixed up just now. And so if you were doing these in a traditional style, you would want to add some breadcrumbs in as well, just to absorb some of the extra liquid. If any that's going to be in here, it depends on how lean your chicken is. Also, you can add an egg in there just to help it mold a little bit better. But those are two things that are not on our cleanse approved list. We're not having any wheat, so we don't have breadcrumbs, and we're not having any eggs this week, so no eggs for our burgers here. But you can see a little bit of what it looks like, just a little mushy mess there. It's kind of gross maybe. But we're just going to form these into maybe 2 or 3 medium sized patties, or medium, or maybe 2 large. And you can freeze them for a little bit just to hold their shape before you put them in the oven. Or you can do like me. I'm about to have lunch here, so I'm just going to throw one of them right into the oven. And so, as you can see here, we have our 3 burgers shaped and ready to go into the oven for lunch today. And so next up here, we have our sweet potatoes, which I am going to dice into some medium-sized cubes. And that is going to be on the side of our chicken burgers for lunch, as well as a salad. And so with this one, I am just using another spice blend here. It just has some cayenne pepper, some garlic and onion powder, some mustard, and some chili powder. And I'm going to sprinkle that over top, again with some salt and pepper. I'm going to toss it with a little bit of olive oil here. Oops, a little clink. And that's going to go in the oven as well. It's going to roast for maybe half an hour. And we're going to have a nice, healthy, whole foods lunch. Very simple, very good. And so with this, you just want to be mindful that you're not cutting too big chunks, because that's going to take a little bit longer in the oven. But I'll show you just an example here of one. Get our end pieces there. So this is a medium-sized sweet potato. Oh, it's a big clunk. We're just going to cut them roughly this size. So if you think about it, it's like half a finger. Alright, and so you can see we've filled the bowl pretty well there. I'm going to go ahead and start with, again, the salt. We're going to put maybe a little bit more than our chicken. We're going to put about a teaspoon or a tablespoon. A little bit, make sure it's all nice and coated. A little bit of our black pepper. Not too much, because again, the blend that I'm using here is going to have some cayenne and some chili powder already. So it's going to be nice and spicy. And for this one, you can grab our measuring spoons. Let's start with about a 1/4 teaspoon. That looks good. Toss that up. Looks good. So we can drizzle our olive oil. This is a nice bottle I just got from the Dollarama as well. So I mean, if you're thinking about, you know, wanting to get it more into cooking, if it's not really your thing, might be a nice thing to invest in that's kind of low cost. The nice thing about it is it has a spout, so it prevents you from dripping oil down the side of the bottle again once you finish pouring. See, everything just goes right back inside. And so you can put the cap back on, put it back on our shelf, give this a nice little toss. Oh, we lost a soldier. And we're good to go. So I'm going to put both of these in the oven for around half an hour. Burgers will probably be done before the sweet potatoes just because of the content of it, the texture of it. But lunch is going to be served soon, and I'm excited. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. I am so happy to be able to provide a little sneak peek for you inside the body restoration cleanse. If you like this video, please go ahead and just hit that like button down below and subscribe to our channel so you can see more content just like this every single week. See you in the next one.